Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play The Witcher 3 on a Witcher Wednesday. I'm your host, Colors Fade. It's episode 21.
Looks on the lot of you.
We have a little quest up here in the Baron's place. In the Crow's Perch. Somebody has mentioned something called a Shrieker.
Slow now. Whoa.
So we need to find out what that is.
Greetings.
Yeah?
Heard you have a problem. A monster you call a Shrieker.
Aye. Prowls about it does. Snatches cows and goats mostly, but it won't scorn a man if it runs into one. Borzoi, huntsman under the old lord, well, he said enough's enough. Claimed he'd put a stop to it, drive the beast away. Took a hatchet. Laid an ambush for the Shrieker beyond the moat, where the fields start. It's where we found him. Guts stretched o'er the crown of a tree like gossamer. Took half a day to collect the parts. Put him in a grave.
High time a professional took a look at this Shrieker. Anyone around here know more about the beast?
Borzoi's son Simcoe does. Saw the aura with his own eyes. But you might find the lad hard to chat with. Still mourns his father, methinks.
I see. Where'll I find him?
At me homestead. I took the tyke in when he lost his dad. The mother passed long ago.
He says homestead, which makes it sound like it's really far away, but it's really just back around
Can we
behind
talk?
his house.
Let it be.
Calm down, I just wanna...
Go, I said.
I want to avenge your father. But to do that, I gotta know what killed him.
Shrieker killed him. Don't you know?
That name doesn't mean much to me. Describe the beast. Tell me what it looked like.
Something like a rooster. But huge. With a lizard's tail. I heard Ruffler barking in the woods. Ran to see what you were on about. There were Dad, in the bushes. A hole through his belly. And he were moaning, screaming. I wanted to help, but how could I? How?
Shush now. Calm.
Calm. Calm.
Take care, kid.
It's kind of an interesting idea, actually, because that's probably how things would work. People would have different names for things, and they wouldn't necessarily know what a witcher would call something. A trained monster hunter. They call it a shrieker.
Folk don't object to your white mug.
When in effect, it's probably something like a cockatrice or something else. But if they don't know the monsters, and that's one of the kind of cool things about this world, is there are so many different kinds of monsters. So not too far away from the Baron's place, you follow the shoreline around, and we come to this little bit of magic. Figure it's got to be close by, and somebody died, and
Tracks are irregular here. Monster must have started staggering. Was wounded, most likely.
those are some big ass prints.
Blood. Monster blood.
This reminds me of following a blood trail when I was a kid. I think I've told this story on this channel before, but back when I was 14, I think, was when you could get your hunting license in Idaho back in the 80s. My dad and his friend, they taught the hunter education class for a while at the fishing game, and they set up a fake blood trail for the class to follow. And of course, I'd been hunting with my dad, been around my dad, you know, all my entire life, so I already knew a good chunk of that. going to want to save that.
Might want to look around.
Save
some.
that symbol for later. But anyway, my dad and his friend set up this fake blood trail with some very real looking fake blood. And I was out in front of everybody because I had tracked so many blood trails before with my dad.
Tracks lead to the cave.
And my dad had to eventually just say, hey, let other people follow the blood trail. He's like, I had to take the class to get my license, but I was already so well trained in all of the different things you needed for hunter education, firearm safety, bow and arrow safety, blood trail tracking, all that stuff. At 14 years old, I was way ahead of the curve. So one of the things at this point in time in the game I'm doing is making a shopping list of ingredients that I need, because not having cat to see with is starting to drive me nuts.
The cockatrice hid in the cave, not about to leave. Bomb should
It
slow
gives us
down,
3
though.
different kinds of bombs there: salmon, grape shot, or dancing star. So odds are you probably have one of those. Took me a little bit to figure that out. Wasn't looking at the quest information there in the upper right hand corner. You gotta have some decent aim here, and it's kind of dark. Again, cat potion would be great. Throw one and kind of miss. It's a matter of, can you get it up there in that gap?
Damn it, it's not here. Must have fled through
And
another
that did
exit.
it.
Gotta nab it before it gets away.
There's florins all over the ground. We gotta grab that. But really, we need to go get this cockatrice before it runs away, so. We can hear his wings beating. Time to go chase him down.
There it is. Won't get away
That
this
depends.
time.
Is Roach available to help us? Or is the thing gonna fly back around and come back our direction? Roach is over here munching. Chomp, chomp, chomp. Is there a monster to hunt? Chompy. There we go. This thing's really good at jumping around. And I'm not very good at dodging these feather swipes. So, we're bleeding. That's not good. Swallow will help it, but I'd rather just kill this thing as soon as I can. The lunges are incredible.
Damn it.
This is when you would like to have some of the higher level magic spells that can do things like freeze. Although knocking the sucker down is pretty good. Geralt, you're getting crushed. And there's our Undying has kicked in.
Damn, you're ugly.
Yeah, rolling helps get you out of the way of that a lot. I gotta make better use of that. Oh, I hate that. Thought he was gonna get me with that last wing swipe there. Not good. So he's got a bunch of stuff. Monster carapace, cockatrice eggs, the cockatrice trophy. That's always fun. Time to take out the knife and do a little beheading. So that was their Shrieker. Cockatrice. pretty cool. There are so many different kinds of monsters in this game. The gentleman who writes these books, he must spend copious amounts of time studying different monster,
Might want to look around some.
different monsters and lore of different monsters. I mean, this is a little hard to find. You can walk around this ruin for a long time. You need to find this area and walk up here, and you can see it flash down there, the sign for the loot. So there's the enhanced griffin trousers that are right here, which is what that little red symbol was that Geralt saw with his Witcher senses. There's nothing else here, so it's time to go back and hand in the contract. Chet.
Greetings.
Yeah?
Shrieker won't trouble you anymore.
Thank ye, Master Witcher. Your reward, tain't much, but as they say, take care of the pennies.
I'm not running a charity here.
Thank you. Any problems in the future, you keep me in mind.
Kid's got a roof over his head. He'll be fine. So now the next thing to do is look for a quest, and I'm really interested in some gear. There's treasure hunts. The Griffin school gear is level 11 in Velen. I think we can find all of that stuff. So it's time to get underway and have Roach take us around the land. It's a little bit of a jaunt to get to the first location, taking us through some Sleepy Hollow type landscapes. Again, I can't overstate it enough how beautiful this game is, even though it's in a dreary kind of landscape at times. They do dreary very well. Eventually, if we find this mountain, that's where our quest marker's taking us.
Come on now.
It's a good thing we have Roach help us get up here. But this is one of those places where you're thinking, yeah, this is a one-way ticket. We jump down here. Are we getting back out? I'm not sure. Oh, well. Actually, I think you can probably jump back out there, but we have wraiths, which means we need not Quinn. The other one. Is it called Axie? I don't have the spells memorized except for Igni. That's the easy one. This is the one I want. Right here. Make you fools easier to die to my sword. I like that quite a bit. It's pretty cool. I saw a really neat video the other day that was top 25 tips for Witcher 3, and it just came out like a month ago. Month and a half ago. I thought it's pretty neat that people are still making content for this game, because there were some tips in there that were really, really handy. I need to go back and watch it again. I just watched it the one time, and I noticed that there were at least a half a dozen things in there that I thought were really useful. We don't have any Spectre oil yet. Oh yeah, we do. It's right there. I was thinking I didn't have any, but we have Spectre oil. What we don't have is cat, and cat would be really useful right here. So I was saying earlier, I have a shopping list. What I did is spend a little time going through some of the crafting in here, some of the alchemy.
Not your lucky day.
I love it when these guys do this. When they teleport right to where you are after you've laid that down. Laid that spell down. That's fantastic. So I went through, and we have to go hit an alchemist. I have probably a good 8 ingredients that I need to go purchase, that if I could get my hands on would help me craft a bunch of more alchemical potions that would really help. Cat would be one of them. And I have failed to loot the specters as they have dropped stuff. This is one of the things I love in games, though. The ability to ignite torch areas, candelabras and things like that. I love it. Especially in a place like this where I'm not entirely sure how big the dungeon is, and it immediately forks to the right and the left as soon as you come into it. So being able to light braziers and candelabras along the way so you know which direction you've already visited is great. It's just one of those reasons it's a nice feature. Not every game does it, but when it does, I really appreciate it. Because I don't want to leave literal breadcrumbs. You can't. You could leave loot on the ground, I guess, if you wanted to, but none of these dungeons in The Witcher 3 are terribly complicated, though, which is good. But we've all been in games where the dungeons can get very elaborate, and I really like the idea of being able to light torches or alter the landscape in some way. Here we get golden aureole. That's another one. We're a couple ingredients away from being able to make, but not many. We have a lot of the ingredients for it already, so getting ingredients, getting all these potions ready, and then being able to select the 3 or 4 potions that we want to imbibe right before a battle is one of the fun parts of playing Witcher, of being a Witcher. I always like that prep part of it. And that was my big beef with The Witcher 1, is that opening cinematic is so good and gives you the impression of what it's like to be a Witcher, to first investigate and diagnose what kind of an enemy you're going to face, and then to prepare your potions and your oils for that enemy, and then to fight it, and then not a single other thing in the game was representative of that opening cutscene. So that's one of the things I'm really hoping that they change with The Witcher Remaster. Because it is going to be a remaster. It's not just a reskin with updated graphics. They are making some significant changes to the game, including what I think they're going to do is make the combat more like Witcher 3, which would be great. Because that game had a lot of promise, but I have just never been able to finish it. Somebody made their way in here and died. That doesn't seem very nice. And we have a dead end, but not really. Not for a Witcher. And then there's this. First of all, this is a little bit of a problem. The flames. Yeah, one of the things I got from the tips and tricks video is that you could use... Oh, this guy. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get blown up and he's gonna hit hard. Get over here, buddy. Come on, teleport. We know you want to. So in that top 25 tips and tricks for Witcher 3 that just came out like 6 weeks ago, I had never seen this. I never thought of it. I knew you could light this stuff on fire with the fire one, but you can use Ard to just temporarily get rid of it, which is really nice. So you have to walk through it. You got to keep moving, but you can do it without setting everything on fire, including setting yourself on fire. So I thought that was handy to know. I did not figure that out on my own. And then, of course, there's torches. So, again, braziers. We can know where we've been and how far we've progressed. So, there's something on the other side here. We can hear it stomping around. I don't know what it is. Is it a troll or a golem or what the hell is it? First thing we got to do is actually jump up there. I sit here for a long time trying to see if it'll wander close enough that I can see its label, but it doesn't do that, so I have no idea what it is. So we're just going to have to run up here and fight it. And it looks like it's an Ekimara, which makes it a type of vampire. The more light that I can set up around this place, the better. Come here, buddy. There it is. Now, I think Yrden's probably still a good spell to have here, because it looks like this thing can do some kind of, not teleportation, but it can make itself translucent, so that was my thought process, trying to use that particular spell there. But the thing we're looking for is the gear, and there it is. It's not all of it, though. It's 4 pieces: the boots, the gauntlets. So we have 4 of the 6 from that. And if we go in here and we check the book, we can find St. George's Journal. He says, having heard of rumors of a dragon, I raced at full speed to Velen. Sadly, I was dragged away from my hunt by the prefects of Gor's Velen. They summoned me as an expert to solve the riddle of a string of shipwrecks, suspected to be the work of night wraiths. Seems a dragon ravaging the countryside is a lower priority than blocked trade routes. Luckily, I was able to solve the riddle. I learned that the peasants from the ravaged villages had taken shelter in the elven catacombs under Lake Windermere. Wise, if they were not wise enough to bring firewood and so warm themselves by burning elven manuscripts. It aches my heart to think what knowledge about the Alder folk went up in those flames. At least few of the manuscripts survive. Yet enough about that. Eyewitnesses have reports, ashen scales, height. It's huge. Conclusion, we are dealing with a green dragon. So, green dragon, but it leaves us 4 of the pieces of the 6 pieces for the Griffin gear. And we have 2 more left to go. Boots, gauntlets. That's nice. There's a bunch of mushrooms in here. Feel bad for Gary Eats because he doesn't like mushrooms. Mushrooms are one of my favorite things. Love mushrooms. One thing I haven't had in a long time is a morel season. Big deal for some folks around here. I've never done that, but I remember having them as a kid and they were amazing. So that's the Ekimara. It's like a vampire bat. It's pretty funny. It talks about how they do not suck the blood from the necks of virgins with delicate kiss-like bite. They tear them with shreds using long, sharp claws and then slurp the spattered blood off the ground. Like other vampires, Ekimaras are not, despite what village gossips might say, undead humans. They are instead post-conjunction monsters who have no particular feelings about garlic, holy water, or religious symbols. I like that. Just the variety of monsters is pretty damn awesome. I mean, imagine having to train your whole life to be a monster expert and there's that many different kinds of monsters. But that's why Geralt is who he is. The Amazing Witcher. So, in the old Skyrim fashion, it's not a dungeon you have to walk back out the way you came in. It's a one-wayer.
Now in his eye. Ought to use it.
Right there, interact with the wall, and bye-bye. We can see daylight. It's time to put that. You don't actually have to put that in your inventory. I don't think there was a on your quick bar. I think there was already a prompt there to just press E and have it work. So come out to this view. A disgusting dead animal there. But folks, that's going to do it for this episode. We found 4 of the 6 pieces of gear. We're going to go after the other 2. And then we'll get back to more of the main questing. I think we need to cross the Pontar and we need to go find Triss. And certainly that's something we want to do. And we have to return back to the Hollow and talk to the 3 witches. I think we have to deal with them. So folks, as always, if you dig it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, leave your questions and comments down below. I'll see you next time. You know the drill. Until then, happy gaming, everyone.